Hey, so I almost forgot to give you the extra dip on the chip. So, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, Counterbalance Solutions, where we're even in the playing field. And if you're new to my channel, my name's Jackie. I am new to retail arbitrage, but I am killing the game. If I say so myself, I'm killing the game, okay? But I wanted to come on here and like it says, y'all, I wanted to real talk some Amazon FBA, FBM. I apologize. And I wanted to really, oop, y'all, talk about a sale. Hey, talk about a sale. Hey, talk about a sale. Hey, that's what that ding means anyway. But I wanted to come on here, y'all, and really just real talk with you guys about Amazon, the difference between FBA, FBM, what I think is better, and just kind of give you guys I guess, a 1 month review or update. So, the first thing that I want to go over is when will you be paid? That's what we're all questioning, especially when you're doing your you're working with certain capital or constructed capital. I would say you're going to be paid within about a month and a week to about a month or 6 weeks. Basically, I would probably say roughly about 6 weeks. And I say 6 weeks because it takes time to get your verification, mail verification. It takes time to get around verification. It takes time to get your second round verification, and then of course you still have to source, add everything. And if you're like me, who's a little slow, I like I said, I did have problems when I first uploaded, but literally when I corrected it, and once my things were active, I started selling that day. So I would definitely say about 6 weeks. For me, I actually sent my information, my mail verification on August 3rd. And so my first payday was September 10th. Now, I wanted to let y'all know, and this is just a little side note, make sure that your account is good to go. When I say good to go, if you have, like, when it comes to like the bank card that you set your account up with, make sure that that card is active. There's nothing wrong with it. No prepaid cards or anything like that. And I say that because for me, with my situation, y'all, I have a Chime card. And I don't know if y'all know, but with Chime cards, you can actually turn it off and turn it on. And I knew my payday was going to be September 10th. Now, I was turned off because I normally have it turned off depending on what's going on. But I noticed that it was turned off, and I didn't think it would be a problem because, it's supposed to be ACH. They have my routing and account number, but it turns out that it was a problem. I guess how they put the money into the account, they put it by your card that you put online. So I will say, make sure that that is good to go. Like, I didn't even think to check and see if my card was turned off because I don't turn it off a lot, but it was. And so I literally updated my card that day on the 10th. And y'all, another side note too, you will have to be advocates for yourself when it comes to Amazon. So Amazon is great, y'all. They are great for the customers. They're really great dealing with that aspect of it. But when it comes to like working with the sellers, it is definitely a little bit more complicated, I would definitely say. There's a lot more hoops to go through for certain things like ungating. With my personal situation with my card, y'all, I'm still dealing with that, okay? And I will say that I have gotten a payment from them, like started and stuff like that, but it wasn't even the full payment of what I was supposed to be paid. So I would definitely strongly suggest make sure that you advocate for yourself, make sure your card's up and good, ready to go, no questions asked, and all that. So yeah. So number 2, FBA versus FBM, y'all. FBA is when you send it to Amazon, they fulfill it. FBM is when you fulfill it. Now, for me, I strongly suggest when you are a new seller, especially right now in this season, if you're able to, because if you didn't make FBM sales before a certain time period, you can't sell certain things in fourth quarter, which is Q4 if you're not familiar. But if you can, I strongly suggest leaning more towards FBM. And I say that because of this. Right now, FBA is taking a lifetime, y'all, a lifetime to put people's stuff in. Not only that, but you'll send it one place and they may need it somewhere else, so that has to be sent somewhere else. So that's even more waiting time. Just you know, for me, I had a box and we did books. And we sent them, y'all, and it literally took 2 to 3 weeks for these books to get in. It took literally 2 weeks, for sure, 2 weeks for them to get in, I'm sure. Yeah, 2 weeks for them to get in, minimum. And so, not to say not to do FBA, y'all. You need FBA because once those are in, those are taken care of. Those are things that you can literally forget about. And I'm going to tell you, like, I remember I had sent, like I told y'all about those highlighters. Those highlighters were good. Once I changed the price, I was able to put them into profit. And let me tell you, with FBA, they sold. I still have those highlighters in FBM, and they haven't sold with FBM. So, you know, I strongly suggest doing both, of course. But when you're new, lean a little bit more towards FBM, simply because you don't have that waiting time. You don't have to wait for Amazon to get it in. You can literally post it right now. The person can buy it right now, and you can literally send it right now. So that money starts to flip over quickly rather than having to wait for Amazon to log everything, get it in, get it to the warehouse. Even for you to send it out and, you know, for it to even get to the warehouse to go through, you know, it takes time. So those are just some of my suggestions and what I've experienced personally. Most of my sales right now are FBM simply because it's money like this. I don't have to wait for Amazon to do stuff, but I still do send stuff into Amazon because remember, you guys, the object is to make this into where it's rolling figures, you know? So if you're constantly sending stuff in, eventually you'll start to get that snowball effect where, okay, you don't get some sales, but then you see that FBA go through and you like, hey, I forgot all about that. So just make sure you do it. That's just my thing. So, all right, my next point for y'all is going to be different types of the different types of retail arbitrage. So, y'all, there is regular retail arbitrage and then there's wholesale retail arbitrage. Now, for me, I've learned, especially after this month, I've learned I definitely want to lean more towards wholesale retail arbitrage, and that's because with wholesale retail arbitrage, you source one thing and you constantly source that one thing, and you do it with just multiple SKUs, and you don't have to constantly be going out there trying to find deals or, you know, talking to this person, that person, you know, all that is a lot. So if you ask me personally, I know for me and my business, I want to lean more towards that way. Now, with that being said, retail arbitrage, regular, where you go out and you're scanning stuff, you find something good, you pick those up, you know, boom, you go to the next store, you find something good, you pick those up. That is still great, y'all. Don't not do one or the other. Like, still do both. You know, you want all the money. You feel me? You want all of it. You want to make sure that any way you can possibly get it, you can get it. So don't ever, you know, cross one out. That's real tough. But know the difference, because when you're setting up your business, you want to have a game plan. You want to have an idea of where you see your business going, or else how will you know when you get there? You'll be, you know, moving and you'll be stagnant. So you want to make sure that you have a plan, that you know where you want to go. You have an idea for your business, especially when you start going out talking to, you know, big people once your business gets to a certain level. I know one of the people that I watch, and I will, you know, talk about that more down the line. You know, they have great information when it comes to wholesaling. And do your research. I don't know if I can say that enough. Do your research. Do your own research, y'all. There's so much free research out there. Y'all, do it. Don't think that someone is going to do this business for you. I mean, y'all, I spend so many hours thinking of sourcing, looking at sourcing, educating myself about sourcing, all types of stuff. So make sure you're educating yourself. That way you can be successful. And like I said, know where you want your business to go. That way you can have a game plan, and that way you know which way you're heading. And hopefully that way you can make this business into what you believe you want your business to be. And then, y'all, the last thing that I definitely wanted to talk about is being mindful of the variety, or being mindful of undercutting. So, and what that can mean for you. So it is, don't get me wrong, it is hard to get into buy box sometimes when you are new, even if you're not new and you have bad metrics. Okay, so the one thing that I have seen a lot, or that I've seen with one or two of my posts, or with my listings is that there's like 1 or 2 people who truly undercut people. And I noticed that with those 1 or 2, they're fairly new sellers. Like I saw, I looked at their profile because, I do my investigations, okay? But I looked at their profile and I saw that they really don't have that many items. They've only been on for, this amount of time. I look at their reviews, but I noticed that. And so, I want y'all, my viewers out there, who are gonna get this info, I want y'all to be mindful about undercutting and what that means for your shipping and stuff like that, because it's great to get the buy box and it's great to make those sales, but if you're cutting out profit, if you're not putting enough profit back into your pocket to even make it worth it, then what is the point? Y'all, I saw a product that normally sells for like $18, $19, sometimes $22, and these people were putting it at $11, $12. Like, you have to think, if shipping, and maybe they don't know how much, maybe they're still really, really new and haven't done the math on shipping, which is why I already showed y'all in my last video how to figure out shipping. That way you can for sure know what you're looking at. But, when you look at shipping ain't gonna change. Yes, Amazon fees change. They're 15% of whatever, but that shipping ain't gonna change because that size, the weight, the packaging is gonna be the same. So, make sure that when you are looking at this, or when you're trying to undercut, or when you're trying to get the best buy box, make sure that you do think about that before you just try and undercut somebody. Because I will let y'all know this 1000% right now, Amazon will absolutely let you keep buying shipping even when you owe them money. Like, what'll happen is when your statement comes around, they will just tell you that you owe money. So I would definitely, make sure to keep that in mind, is when you are trying to get that buy box, remember that the price is where it is for a certain reason, especially if you're doing FBM, if you're leaning more that way. So, just something to keep in mind. Now, I wanted to come with a little extra saucy sauce. So, within my first month, y'all, I had a shipping error as well. And let me tell y'all something. The one thing that you will absolutely need to do is, if there is a problem, eat the problem. And when I say eat the problem, I mean, like, don't fuss about it. Don't try and argue the customer down. Just handle it. Send out the product. Like, I had a situation where UPS actually did not deliver the actual item to the customer. And so, of course, your first thing to do is ask the customer, you sure? But you don't really necessarily want to do that. You kind of want to be finesse game with it. Hey, you didn't see him drive by? Nothing. So, they didn't deliver it. And instead of, going through the whole situation, I let them know, thank you for your patience. We'll get one out to you. Y'all, I sent it out that day. And it turns out that UPS did go ahead and resend it. They did actually find the package and get it to the lady. But because of how I handled it, I got my first 5-star review. And when I say, y'all, a 5-star review or any review makes a huge difference in your metrics. It makes a huge difference in your metrics. So that's the extra sauce. When stuff happens, fix it ASAP. Even though, it may cost you to fix it, remember, it's better than getting a refund or something like that. Because when I did my research and I looked at forums and stuff, it was saying for me to go to the customer, tell them to do the refund, this, that, and the third. But I also read that it messes up your metrics when I did my research on YouTube too. So I'm gonna let y'all know, don't do it. If you can help from having to do a refund or help from having to get back, y'all, do what you have to do to get those good reviews. Do what you have to do to get those good metrics, because the more you do, the more they push you into buy box. The more you looking good, the more they're going to push you into buy box. And eventually, you'll get to a level where you actually don't have to get approval for certain things. You'll get auto-approved. Now, I ain't going to say it don't take a while, because everyone I talk to said it takes 6 months to a year. But if you're really diligent, you stay with it, you really get those good reviews, I'm sure you'll get there ASAP. So, hey, I really hope you like share, subscribe. I really hope this info helped you out today. Okay, now I will be back, y'all. I am working right now to do a ungating video. If the trick that I'm doing works, I will absolutely come and let y'all know. Right now I've done gone back and forth with Amazon like 2 or 3 times with my documentation and what I need. So I'm actually going to let y'all know if it works, exactly what you need to ask for from the company and all that. And that's without having an LLC yet, because I don't have mine yet. I'm going to be working on it here within the next month or 2. But yeah, so I hope this helps y'all. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. But other than that, I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Hey, so I almost forgot to give you the extra dip on the chip. So when you're first starting selling, like I said, it can be complicated, but I wanted to give y'all a list, y'all, just to start you out, just to, you know, give y'all an area to work in. I've learned don't scan certain areas. If I can't sell it yet, it's gonna hurt my feelings. So here we go. You got party supplies, you got Carter's clothes, y'all. Kids Carter clothes, they are great. Let me tell you, I was looking at some of the listings, I was like, hell yes. So you got tools, houseware, sporting goods, kitchen items, books, cutlery, dishes, towels, socks, bras, water bottles, food storage, pet supplies. Now I do know certain pet supplies you can't, like kitty litter. They done got strict on stuff like that. Puzzles, arts and crafts, and then like home storage. I mean, that's literally a list of 10, 15 things, sections. So I hope that helps.